What's up, demons and demonettes? Tis I, Atraxi Demon Queen, and it's a new week, and we have a new Titan Reaver. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. Now, as you can see, we do have two new bosses, the Necro Dragon and Alpha Bear, and we do have a refresh of rewards. And this time, instead of the Crimson Essence, we're getting the Mythic Essence. Alright, as you can see, we've already cleared it, but I think it's 600 million to clear all the damage. Now, I'm going to go over the best squads, the manual process for the best squads, and substitutes you can use. So, let's get into it. Let's take a look at our records. Alright, so as you can see, I got 13 of 46. These are the current best squads. We have a Greatsword with a Kruger, a Merrily, Sinbad, Sonya, and Makola. And then we have Arcane Spell with a Smokey, a Lily May, a Rainer, Coco, and a Taylene. So let's take a look at the damage as always. Alright, so in the first squad, Kruger's there to debuff the boss. Our primary damage dealers are going to be Merrily, a Sinbad, and Sonya, with Makola being support as always. Sonya is just nice here as a buffer, but as you can see, she has the most DPS. Sinbad's second DPS, he also acts as a debuffer, in addition to Kruger. And then Merrily is there to ensure that we get the faction bonus, and that she does some nice physical damage as well. Alright, so for our second squad, Taylene is our primary damage for the boss and our tank. And then Lily May is our secondary damage, with our usual support characters being Smokey, Rainer, and Coco. Now, typically we don't run a Taylene on Alpha Bear because of the damage output from Alpha Bear. It kind of reduces her ability, right? Because she burns through her health to get her ult off. But here we're able to heal through the bulk of that damage. So she's much better option here than, say, her substitute. Alright, so let's go into the formations and we'll talk about that. Alright, so now this is the Necro Dragon squad, and this is the setup. We have a Merrily to the outside, Sonya to the back here, Kruger up front here, Sinbad. So we want to make sure that we get Merrily and Sinbad, our damage dealers, their buffs. And you have Makola. Now, if you don't have Sinbad built up, you can sub in Shakir. If you don't have Sonya built up, you can sub in Shakir. If you don't have these two both built up, you can sub in Shakir. And I would go with Corrin, because we want more of physical damage dealers here that work pretty well. Elsa works also on this boss if you don't have, say, Sinbad built up. It's just any substitute you run is going to reduce your overall damage. Seth is another option, Odie is another option, but we want to save Odie for the second fight. Lenya doesn't work out too great here, but there are a lot of good options, just not best options for subs. But you may basically want to make sure that you are going to maintain your faction bonus. That is going to be big here. So we want to make sure that we have at least 3 and 2. So let's move on to the Alpha Bear squad. So this is the better setup here. We have a Lily May to the side, a Coco here, a Smokey here, a Rainer right dead smack in the middle, and then Taylene getting all of the buffs. Again, Arcane Spell. Now, if you don't have Taylene, you can very much run with Odie. A lot of people should have him built up, so he's a very viable option for this fight, just not going to do the most damage. Now, you can run it on auto, and you can get a pretty decent score. As you can see, I've only done auto on here, because it does take some RNG, at least on the first squad, because anytime you run with Merrily, there's always going to be RNG involved. So that got us to the 99.94. But if you want to get to that top percentile, you run these squads, and there's some manual. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to manual Marilyn to stay in Makola's buff, and then we're going to manual Taylene to the optimal spot, which is the tile in front of Rainer. So let's go with that. So we're going to want to run it at normal speed, which we have. We're going to kick off her ult, and then we're just going to manual. So she's going to start here. And then we're going to want to move her to the square closest to Makola. So that when Makola's song goes off here, now Marilee's in it. Now we just want to basically maintain Marilee in this circle. And you want to try to keep her away from the puddle as well. Bump, 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 bump. Alright, so we can move her over to the side here. The only issue I've had with this is sometimes it delays Marilee's ult because she can get silenced right when it goes off in like that split second that it takes to get it off manually. Now, there is some RNG, like I said, because it is Marilee, so you're going to have to do this multiple times. So you're going to have to get a sweaty for this one if you do want that top score. So as you can see, we're just going to jump her around from tile to tile. Ideally, we just want to bounce her back and forth between two tiles. Like I said, just try to avoid the puddle. Bum, 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 bum. And you notice that I'm using, I'm kind of just going right by here to minimize a downtime from her jump. But it's usually, see there, we had it where she got silenced, but we want to make a minimal downtime so we have much uptime on the boss as possible. And you see, we just manualed a new high score by manualing the whole time. So for Taylene, we're going to want to manual here, right in front of Arena. So we just need to wait for her to go off. Alright, so the tile right in front of Rainer is ideal. And then we can speed it up. Because she ults for a long time. So we'll just wait for her to, if she incubates, incubate. Hopefully we only have to manual her once. I have not done the manual on Taylene, so this is my first time trying it out here. Bum, 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 bum. So we'll keep in mind that our old high score was 1360 without manual, and we'll see what we get for our overall score here with manual. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so she's not going to come up again in time. So we did an RNG. It got pretty close, I think. It was just not as close as our highest score. But we did get a new overall high score. We needed the better score here. So, in my opinion, it's... Yes, you can do it. You're going to have to do it multiple times. It's basically your desire to get into that top percentile. And it didn't really... It only got us, net us 1 million more damage. But as you can see, just by manualing, we did 14 million more here. We were just off of our high score here by quite a bit, downgrading our overall score. So that's it for this one. Happy hunting, and again, you can pretty much just do this on auto for the most part. You'll get a decent score, and you'll get all your rewards, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!